Hi, you are watching SightsIn and this is Romesh. Please to subscribe the channel for the HR news, for the HR updates, and conversation with the top HROs. Today, we are going to discuss about the HR tech trends for year 2024. So, if you look back, I think if we talk about 2021, 2022, and 2023, so we have seen the huge adoption of HR technology. And I think in all the process of HR, all the process, if I'm saying it means from pre-hiring to post-retire. So there's all the processes are digitalized right now as of now, and it has been also the fastest growing part of the budget of HR professionals in the last couple of years. Today we will discuss that what are going to be the HR priorities and where the technology can help them to achieve their priorities, to help them to achieve their goals of the HR leaders. And we have two tech experts, HR tech experts. Let me introduce Mr. Nikhil Morade. He's global head HR technology with the Cipla, and Mr. Srinivasa Bharathy is a managing director and CEO at Adrenalin eSystems Limited. So, Nikhil and Srinivas, welcome to the panel. And first, I would like to know from you that how do you see the 2024 for the HR leaders, and what are your opening comments about the HR tech trends?
So, Romesh, I think first of all, if we have to talk about what HR wants to solve, we will also have to understand, what business is looking like. So now, as we kind of look at multiple organizations and multiple business strategy plans, etc., one thing is very clear that every business is looking at leveraging technology, digital transformation, becoming digital lighthouse, so that the efficacy or the productivity part of it, right, or the scalability of an organization could be much more better. We can also find out, let's say, multiple new revenue streams using technology. So the aspect of technology is now very deeply embedded in the strat plans for the businesses. So what it means for an HR as well is to kind of, first of all, supplement those strat plans. So as you see, not many organizations in their HR strategy as well are now talking a lot of technology in every aspect of the process, be it talent acquisition, be the experiences in onboarding, be it experiences post separations. So the element of technology is also very embedded in each of the processes. Okay, so from the priority standpoint, I think from an HR standpoint, obviously it is to how we augment or support the business. And within HR, what we are looking at is how better we can leverage the technology to add more value, to slightly reduce transactional aspects of within HR. As we all know, how much percentage of time gets allocated in transactional activities. How we can, further reduce that. I think digitization has helped to reduce it to a large extent. How we can further reduce it, and whatever time I think we are achieving out of this reduction, how better that time can be leveraged for a meaningful dialogue with the businesses. So you add more differentiated value there. I think that's what is being thought over in HR.
So, cinemas as a service provider, how do you see, where do you see the space where you will, sell the HR technology? How do you see what are going to be the HR tech trends for coming year 2024?
Nikhil and Ramesh, nice of you to have me here. As one of the pioneers here in providing HR tech solutions for many enterprise customers in the region, I think we are seeing a very big uptick in terms of digital adoption among not only large enterprises that used to be the case earlier, but also in the mid-market and smaller mid-market segments. If we look at 2024, I think it's going to be a cusp year for a huge uptick in adoption. We have seen, right from the early days where HR was just a system of records. And, I would say that was the ERP wave, back 30 years ago, to where it moved into system of transactions sometime later. And then, it moved into a best of breed adoption of solutions. But then now after COVID, and especially after the advent of and maturity levels that have come in terms of the AI and other advanced technologies, we are seeing that these are actually going to become much more mature and improved for adoption in 2024. A seamless experience for employees, I think, will become a priority for HR practitioners and CHROs. And I think Nikhil touched upon it briefly when he said we are moving towards experiences and providing a seamless experience right from person who is not yet an employee for us, which means a candidate who is a prospective employee, right up to the person actually being a post-employee or an alumni of the organization, and how much of experience that I continue to provide an alumni of the organization. And providing this kind of a seamless experience, I think, will define how digital HR will move in 2024.
Nikhil, I was going through a survey, and that is, I think, by the Gartner. And according to the survey, around 76% of the HR leaders, they feel if we don't adopt the generative AI in this year, 2024, they may be lagging behind. How do you see the integration of artificial intelligence, generative AI, basically, with the HR metrics in this year?
Sure, absolutely. So I think I'm just carry forwarding what Srinivas said. So essentially in 2024, so what's going to continue? I think a lot of us have started on the journey, and that journeys are going to continue in terms of adopting what we have deployed, in terms of continuing on the journey of bettering the experiences of the system, more integrated, more empowered. So that journey is going to continue. Now, in terms of technology, see what happens is technology comes and aids to some of these causes, right? In terms of experiences, in terms of being able to create integrated systems, etc. So now there are a lot of technologies which are around us today. Some are old, some are new, and so for example, now cloud continues to be one where a lot of us from HR are thinking to kind of leverage as much as possible, because that really truly gives you a power. The second thing, what happens is now among different technologies available like metaverse, virtual reality, augmented reality, we have really seen lesser efficacies in terms of use cases. So even as simple as an NLP based chatbots have not done so much of wonders in HR right now. The bots have been deployed, but I think they also come with a lot of, in the current shape and form, they come with a lot of efforts to be kind of fed in terms of their ability to train, in terms of accuracies, etc. So one good thing so we are kind of surrounded by technologies. So one technology that now everyone is kind of picking up is generative AI. And obviously, I think one of the reasons for that is the technology truly can create a meaningful differences in terms of bringing productivity, in terms of bringing accuracies, in terms of bringing more scalability aspect in the processes. So one of the thing now, as you see, where many companies and many HR leaders today are looking forward, and not even HR leaders, many CEOs are today looking forward to make a bet. Early bets are on the generative AI, right? And that is the reason, as I think the number from Gartner is not very surprising, because what happens is, with whatever we are seeing in terms of generative AI doing the wonders outside the enterprises, people can correlate and see that a lot of those outcomes can be easily mapped back into the organizations, and a lot of meaningful value can be created in the organization. I think that confidence comes in from the ability of the technology that has proved its wonder outside. So, generative AI, yes, I think even we in our organizations are looking to kind of double down on generative AI and make the most use of it.
Srinivas, already we have a lot of HR tech applications, and already we are working on all the process of the HR, starting from hiring to your employee engagement, employee experience for some workplaces. How this generative AI can value add into this? And because we all are looking for the generative AI, then what the value add we can expect from the generative AI in these all the process?
So let me add the other thing that I think in the same Gartner report that you're referring to also adds as the next point, which is high emphasis on learning and skilling. Now, this is where I think the combination of these two would actually provide the difference. So if I actually wanted to understand very quickly across an enterprise, what kind of upskilling efforts that I need to do, what kind of learning that I need to bring upon my employees or my workforce, I think that when I combine it with the ability for a Gen AI backend or a Gen AI engine to provide that support to take those decisions, to help with faster and accurate information about using my data models, right? So the quicker responses of analysis and responses that a AI engine could provide based on my or an organization's own information and data, and responding to how do I actually ensure the employees are given the right information at the right time very quickly, and that I think will be a big differentiator. We are seeing use cases already in, for example, simple things like creating excellent job descriptions for roles that earlier a typical HR person or a recruiter would not know if a new position has to be created. Then what is it that needs to be done? I think today they use virtual assistants, pretty quickly to generate something at least to a 70-80% accuracy level today. As adoption grows and as the engines get trained, I think Nikhil made that point that training, of course, today is a major factor of AI, and hence, unless the training models mature, we will obviously see adoption to be slightly skeptical. But then the early adopters obviously will have an advantage as they go into using these models, training them better, and staying ahead of the curve in all areas. Talent acquisition is obviously a big area where people will use this. Performance and upskilling is another area where people can use this. Analytics is the third area where I'm seeing generative AI. Already a lot of good models developing. We are working on some of them where using data that's available in the organization, people analytics. I think this old way of typical dashboarding of charts and graphs possibly may go, and conversational analytics will start coming in 2024.
Right. So, Nikhil, AI, of course, generative AI, that is the boom. And some companies like Amazon, they have started some chatbot based on this generative AI, and they are also providing the training to a lot of people. So, how do you see it is going to help in engagement part for the workplace? Because the collaboration, I was talking to a couple of HR leaders, and they said that the culture part that is going to be the top priority for the HR leaders this year. So then the collaboration, that is very important. Now the people have started working from the office. So a lot of relationship issues are there. So how this your generative AI is going to help them to achieve this priority?
So see, I think when it comes to generative AI, right? I think one of the key aspect of generative AI is its ability to create the content, right? Its ability to create a content in any form, text, image, its ability to process large set of data. So now, so one of the key aspect of Gen AI, and it all goes down in terms of how the use case identification happens, but specifically in the area of collaboration, what we are trying to do is, or rather, how the Gen AI can come and really assist in terms of collaboration is what happens if in organization is there a lot of set of people, right? Now, today what happens is you have some collaboration tools, right? Or you kind of come together and you have a collaboration, let's say in your workplaces. So Now, the element of Gen AI is going to come and assist you in terms of, first of all, a lot of this data, whatever is kind of siloed in the organization in terms of collaboration. So let's say if I am going to have a chat with someone, so that data is currently siloed. If I'm writing an email to someone, that data is currently siloed, right? If I am going to have a video conferencing call with someone, that data is today siloed. So uh, Gen AI, first of all, can come. It can put all this siloed data together and can give me a meaningful representation in terms of where I am collaborating well, where I am not collaborating well, where I was collaborating well, but I am not collaborating well now. Okay. So this kind of intelligence can come. Now, this kind of intelligence can, first of all, it can help me in terms of my blind spots, knowingly, unknowingly, maybe perhaps in my collaboration communication, some blind spot would have got created. So this piece of technology can come and assist me. The other key area is now on collaboration is see right now what happens is we are all very accustomed to having a very standard set of communication. So every employee in organization receive a common communication on something, right? There are no personalizations in those communication. I think that personalization is not happening just because at that scale it's slightly difficult, right? How do you manage? How do you create those so much of content without adding so much of manpower to create those personalized communication? Now with the ability of Gen AI to create a content, understand the nuances, this aspect of moving from a very standard templatized communication to a very personalized communications is also going to add to this aspect of collaboration, how an organization collaborates with an employee or an employee collaborates with other peers or manager with employees, right? So this element is also going to come in. I think with the power of Gen AI, yeah, our ability to kind of do a personalized communication at the time of matter, at that instances can now be done very well. So obviously this is going to add to the experiences.
Srinivas would like to add here something.
I actually, Nikhil triggered some thoughts here. So other than blind spots, I think there's another thing that we work on. Typically, you also can uncover hidden strengths. So we look at hidden strengths and blind spots are two things that are extremely important for understanding an individual, perspective themselves. So I think unlocking hidden strengths and also the blind spots, that is one. Second is, I think I would add that it will also give the power of nudges. So when you actually add the power of nudges and prompts to the Gen AI platform, then actually you have this mechanism where there is there is an assistant who is actually prompting you, like I think Nikhil said, instantly, right? There is a feedback that can actually go to the user or the employee quickly than waiting for somebody to actually analyze information and provide it back to the person. I think when we look at it holistically and say, okay, the buckets of helping with content, ability to converse using natural language, ability to now actually look at your hidden strengths and blind spots, and the ability for a system to now nudge you towards the direction that the organization and yourself as a person want to go. I think it's a powerful combination that can actually be extremely productive if used well for any enterprise.
Right. So absolutely, the generative AI that is going to lead the year in the space of the technology. But it has also some concerns around the security part, some data security part. The government of India here in they also brought a law that how we can prevent the data. They are also working on other some technology part. They have also started some quantum computing, and the India has also invested heavily for the quantum computing, this technology last year. No, sorry, in this year, 2023. So this is also one of the another area where we can see some movement in 2024. How to see, apart from generative AI, what are the other emerging technologies that we will adopt in our HR space?
So I think so the way I see it is there are a lot of plethora of new technologies coming. Let's say fast computing, quantum computing, right? Metaverse is coming. Some organizations have adopted metaverse for onboarding. And obviously, what we spoke about is generative AI, right? I think, you know, so first of all, fundamentally, what happens is uh, every technology, okay, as it kind of comes, it also has a lot of headway in front of it. So some of these technologies like quantum computing, fast computing, I think slightly are in the early stages, okay. And perhaps they will mature like 10-15 years back. Face recognitions would used to be a fairly sophisticated stuffs available, right? Now I think even the cheapest of the phone will have a face recognition. So that's the power of what has happened over a year in terms of face recognition and how the technology has become more widespreadly used. So, so my own view is, I think some bit of metaverse technologies around metaverse or fast computing, quantum computing, will mature and people will start taking first steps. Perhaps at least a year or couple of years down the line, as this technology is more matured, right? And we understand more limitations and strengths of these technologies. So this is my view, I think, currently. Srinivas, over to you.
Yeah, sure. So I think I agree. Quantum is some way to go, but I think we are seeing AR and augmented reality and virtual VR actually solutions coming into the workplace, especially like you said in onboarding. And I think the data side, there is obviously a lot of emphasis on privacy, on how do we actually build in a balance between data privacy versus data that is needed for decision making and providing better experiences to the workforce. And there we would possibly see other things that are likely to come, like gamification, that will acquisition, virtual gamification. That we see already one of the big funded companies doing this in the US called Scoutable, if you know, where you actually get a candidate to play a video game and then you look at this and analyze the decision-making skills of that candidate using what choices he or she makes while playing the game, right? So that's those kind of interesting areas of usage are being seen as trends in the market. Wearable apps, now with, for example, eSIMs and digital SIMs becoming the norm, wearable apps are actually going to become much more popular. No longer do you actually have to have the phone and your wearable together, in proximity. And hence, wearables, I think using wearables for employee wellness, for employees, experiences can actually become a easier thing. Like Nikhil said, no face recognition at some point in time or so. Even wearables were a bit of a pain sometimes because you got to have your phone. You really can't go jogging with your phone and your wearable. So I think some of those are changing, and those will be adopted by organizations pretty quickly. In VR apps in learning, I think are becoming more prominent. We are in collaboration where if I have distributed, let's say, an R&D team and who wants to work on a creative project together, I think those are areas where we are seeing technical solutions becoming a great game changer.
Yeah, right. So now we have the last couple of minutes, 4-5 minutes. So if you can summarize this whole of the discussion in 4-5 HR tech trends, short and crisp HR tech trends for 2024.
I think we already talked about Gen AI and virtual assistants. I think that adoption, we are going to see an uptick. we talked about how other areas other than Gen AI can actually become useful in the coming years. Adoption of digital HR as as a means to not just improve productivity, but actually as a strategic means to manage talent, to design talent. We call it designing of talent in the workplace. So I think that actually becomes a prominent area of HR in this year. I think designing the talent for my workplace, the way our workplace will be in an enterprise using digital HR tech, I think we'll see a big upswing in 2024.
Nikhil, would like to share your thoughts on this?
Yeah. So I think if I have to look in what's going to, how the technologies are going to unfold in the coming year or so. So I would see that first of all, the cloud would continue to be adopted because a lot of organizations are still in the journey to adopt cloud, right? And if at all they are going on the digitization spree, in that as well, I would see a lot of leverage of the cloud would continue to happen. The second where I see is the whole aspect of leveraging the generative AI. Assuming you have covered a lot of digitization journey, you have got the data in place, the richness of the data is better. Okay. Again, I think data also goes through a lot of life cycle. Then organizations will definitely look forward to identify the right use cases for generative AI, not only in HR, but I think in other functions as well. So I think if at all organizations, so it's like almost like a cloud, right? If an organization has decided to go on cloud, it has taken them years and years to kind of move, couple of years or 3 years as per the roadmap. So same is going to happen in Gen AI. It is going to create a multi-year roadmaps for you to identify those use cases and continue to kind of move. Outside of this, I think the third thing where I see some bit of technological investments or technological shifts are going to happen is towards the analytical areas, right? So companies, once you've got digitization in place, once you've got a data in place, I think the much of this kind of the real value of the data comes through the analytic part of it. So a lot of such technologies which is going to empower analytics. So like Srinivas was saying, perhaps even moving from the standard way of looking at analytics in terms of a KPI, dashboards, etc., to more of an conversational insights. Okay, so I see some bit of technologies coming and assisting that space as well. So this 2-3 broadly is the trends that I see.
Right. Thank you so much, Srinivas and Nikhil, for joining the conversation and sharing your wonderful thoughts. Thank you so much.